All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jordan Ray, and I just wanted to demonstrate how to use the Create React app tool and set it up with Sass configuration. I've been working on the free code camp projects for React, and getting it set up with Sass was a little bit tricky, so I wanted to just go through how to do that. And I've tried to put the steps onto GitHub, and I will share the link below this video. Okay, so in the terminal, the first thing we're going to do is install the Create React app with npm. You actually have to use sudo. Let's see if I can make this. Sudo npm install g create react app, and you give that a second to install everything. I already have it installed, so it is just takes a second. Might take a little bit longer for you. Then to use the tool, it's just create react app, and then you give it an app name. I'm going to actually do the camper list project, and it's going to run through some setup stuff. It's downloading repositories and just setting up the tooling for the project. So give that a minute to set up. Okay, now that that is set up, the next thing we're going to do is move into that directory, and I called it camper list. And inside here, in fact, you can actually see everything that it's installed for you. But the first thing that we're going to have to do is eject from the project. So we need to run npm run eject. This is going to run a script, sets up, and you can see over here on the left, you can see the directory structure changing as it ejects from the Create React app. And then we need to actually install a couple of things for Sass. Sass loader and node Sass, and we can save those as development dependencies. So it's npm install save dev Sass loader and node Sass. Once that runs, we've got to make a couple of changes to the the Webpack, to make sure that Webpack is going to be pre-processing Sass for us. So in here, I'm going to open up Webpack config, and the first one I'll do is the development dependency, webpack.config.dev. And the little snippets of code I've put right in here, but we need to go down to the loaders array. And it's a ways down here, module loaders. In the exclude, we need to put Sass in there. Exclude Sass. And then below the first, this first, process.js with Babel, we're going to add another array here. And it's going to have a test, and that's going to be the same little regular expression, Sass, and include paths.app source, and then loader. I'm going to copy this in here, loaders, and it's going to be this array here. And don't forget to put a comma after that little array. And so that should be enough to have the development dependencies. We can test that by just running npm run start. And there we go. I didn't actually change any of the CSS to Sass. So let's just make sure that it's actually processing Sass by changing this index.css to index.sass. And we need to, inside index.js, we need to change index.css to refer to index.sass. And so let's see if that is still processing correctly. And one other thing, just to make sure that it's processing correctly, why don't we just change the color to blue. And there you can see we've got blue font in our thing. All right, so our development environment set up correctly. I'm going to close that out, and then let's open up Webpack production. It's almost the same. You got to find that module loaders, and we need to exclude Sass, regular expression, and then after our very first Babel process, we're going to put 2 lines here. It's still going to have your test line with that regular expression, and then a loader, and I'm going to copy this one because it's a little bit long. It's this extract text all the way out there like that. And need a space there. Okay, extract text plugin, extract, and then save that. Whoa, unexpected token. What did I forget here? Oh, put loader in there twice. Silly me. Okay, so save that. And that should be our development environment now. And we can test that by running npm run build. That's a script built in there, creating an optimized production build. This is going to kick everything into blah, 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 blah. Your build folder is ready to be deployed. So now in this build folder, you see you've got minified HTML. You've got some static resources here, like your CSS is minified, built out for you, and then you've got some JavaScript bundled up. The whole thing is put together for you very nicely and neatly. And so there you have it, setting up Webpack to use Sass with the Create React app. But then there's one other thing that we can do to maybe push these projects to GitHub pages, and to easily do that, we just need to do a couple of things. Let's turn our camper list folder into a Git project. Then I need to add everything. Let's initial commit that, and let's install the npm install save dev GitHub pages. This will allow us to very easily push our project onto GitHub and just deploy it as GitHub pages. It's a really cool, easy way to kind of show your finished project. But so while that installs, I'm going to add. You got to add 2 things to your package.json. You need to add this home page, and I haven't actually created a repository for this yet. But let's go ahead and modify our package.json. I'm just going to put this at the end, and we're going to call it camper list, and then you need to put your name in here. And then there's one other thing. We need to add this to the scripts object, npm run build and GitHub pages. Where are we here? Where are my scripts? Where are my scripts? Where are my scripts? There we go. All right, and so that should be enough setup for our package.json. It finished installing the GitHub pages from npm. And then the only other thing is we need to actually create a repository on GitHub. So I'm going to create a new repository. I'm going to call it camper list, free code camp react project, and then I'm just going to create that repository. I need to add the remote to project. Let me just make sure my commits are up to date here. I updated the package.json. That's why it's git push origin master. Let me just go ahead and push the master up there, and then I can run npm run deploy, which is that script that I added to the package.json. And it's going to go through, it's going to rebuild, it's going to create that production build. It's going to run all the bells and whistles, and it's going to push everything onto GitHub pages for me. Put my username in here. And we'll be able to see that right at github.io/camper list. It's not there yet. Not there yet. Should be published. Might take a second. But even if you look at, you can look at your repository and see that right away. And here we've got GitHub pages. And you can see that it just pushed up that build for you, right? So it ran the build, and then it deployed that to the GitHub pages branch, so that your project can. Takes a minute to reload here, or maybe this might be my settings. Let's see. Is it? Yeah, your site is published. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it just takes a minute for caching to work. So you see my blue text, and it's just the basic React app stuff. But once I start working on the project, I can very easily, I have a really nice development environment, a good build environment, and then easily deploy it right to GitHub pages to finish the project. So hopefully this video was helpful to people. I feel like a little long-winded, but cheers everyone.